This keyboard makes me forget about all of its flaws. It's got no dongle slot, it's got this odd right-hand side charging port, an overly sensitive touch bar over here, and it's still one of my favorite keyboards of 2025. This is one of the more impractical keyboards that I've ever truly loved. It's flawed, it's expensive, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. It's built absolutely beautifully, it turns heads, and when I bring it into the office, everyone's always asking questions about this. It has a certain Apple feel to it, so let's learn more about what makes it so unique today. Hi everybody, I'm Blex. Today we're going to be reviewing the Lofree Flow 2, which Lofree did send me. I have no obligation to them and all my opinions are my own. If you would like to support the channel, I do have some affiliate links below, including some discount codes for Lofree's website. Please check them out. The Flow 2, as you might have guessed it, is a successor to the original Lofree Flow keyboard. One of the more critically acclaimed keyboards that came out in recent years. It has the similar aluminum design, these really well-made keycaps, and a beautiful sound that everyone really enjoys. It's not the most technically advanced keyboard, and it's not the best value on the market, and I think Lofree continues down that path of choosing elegance, looks, feel, over pure practicality. Lofree has absolutely fixed some things on this keyboard. For one, we now have a kickstand on the back, which is great. I'm someone who prefers my keyboard up at an angle. They've also added VIA support, and I think the most important feature to me is the Ready Wake technology. When you go to use this keyboard now, it just works. With the prior keyboard, there would be a slight delay that you would need to wait for. Now this might be due to the new 2.4 gigahertz dongle support, so you now have tri-mode connectivity with wired, Bluetooth, and of course, the 2.4 gigahertz. The keyboard absolutely feels premium, and I would say it feels better and of higher quality as compared to the last generation. It's solid, it's well constructed, not a lot of give to it. It's a beautiful, well-made piece of aluminum. With that though, you've probably noticed one key feature, and that is this right-hand side cheek on the keyboard. It's odd, it's interesting, it's not something that's the most practical. It does look good though. I can't argue that. I really do like the way it looks, and we have this Lofree imprint on the right-hand side. It's unclear why they chose to do it this way, but I do think from a design perspective, this is a pretty keyboard. I have been daily driving this keyboard and going into an office setting with it, and for one, the looks have absolutely caught people's eye. I bring in a lot of keyboards to work as part of my job. Well, not my job, but as part of my hobby that you see here, I do have a lot of keyboards that I will bring into the office. And no one has ever stopped me before and asked what my keyboard on my desk was, until I got the Lofree Flow 2, and I think that speaks to the design choices they made with this keyboard. It's for sure not related to the sound, because I have the silent switches on this keyboard, and they are truly silent and don't disturb anybody. The Lofree Flow 2 comes in two color options. There's a space gray, and then we have this white version here. The white version is tied to the silent switches as well as the linear switches here, and the gray is tied to the tactical switches. They have three different sizes that include a 66, 75, and a 109 key setup, as you see here. Idiot! I think I would prefer and recommend the 75% setup. I think that's the best of both worlds. If you truly do need a numpad, those people know who you are. I think if you're on the fence though, don't get it. I think it's easy enough to get a separate numpad and reduce the space on your desk. For one, I have an early release of this keyboard, and I will probably be getting a 75% tactical version of this keyboard when they go off Kickstarter in full production mode. Backlighting on this keyboard is much improved with shine-through keycaps, and it's a beautiful color as you can see from the clip I'm playing here. It's a simple white by default, but that gets the job done, and as if you guys know me, I'm not a huge fan of RGB, and I just need a practical backlit keyboard for the occasions that I'm working at night. As for the switch options, like I said, have silent switches on this keyboard. That's originally what drew me to Lofree with their Hades switches on the Flow Lite. You can check out my review linked above. Now that this comes pre-installed, it makes it hard to argue purchasing a Flow Lite and adding the aftermarket Hades switches, as this will be a similar priced pre-installed option. I can highly recommend the Surfer Lite switches or Surfer linear switches as well, but as I mentioned before, I am traveling with this in an office and it's just a bit too loud for those settings. On my old version of the Flow, I had the tactical switches, which I really like, but I did found to be a bit heavy after longer usage. Therefore, I've stuck with the linear silent switches. On that note, let's dive into a sound test of the silent and linear switches. The silent switches are truly silent. They are smooth to type on, they're buttery, they feel great. You do get some feedback. It's odd because it's a silent interaction that you're having with the keyboard, but there is that tactical sort of, mental trigger when you're pressing down on these keys, which is fantastic and unique. The linear switches are much louder, as you probably heard. They feel great as well, but for my personal use case, I prefer the silent switches. Who is this project for? Well, I think for one, you have to be in that premium keyboard market space. You have to love the design of this keyboard, and you have to want to put up with its quirks. I will caveat as well that people who are looking for the smoothest possible typing experience, I think, again, to harp on it, the silent switches on this are the smoothest I've ever typed on, and would absolutely check that box for the smoothest switch out there right now. This is also a piece of art. It's gonna look good on your desk. If you want a pretty room with a beautiful keyboard on your desk, this will absolutely fit the bill. It also, thanks to the new 2.4 gigahertz dongle, can do 1K hertz polling, which means you can do some light gaming, which I've been doing personally on this keyboard as well. This is not for entry-level mechanical keyboard people. If you want to jump all the way in, this is a good option. But if you're just looking to figure out if you like mechanical keyboards, I think there's more complete setups out there at a lower price point. Also, if you are traveling to an office, I don't think this is the most travel-ready keyboard out there either. You're going to probably want a case, and you're probably going to want the silent switches. The other options are just too loud for that setting. And I don't think I need to say it, but if you're a pure gamer, this is not the keyboard for you either. I want to do a value comparison for other options, including Lofree's other products in its lineup. I have the Flow Lite here. This is a plastic body keyboard in the 75% layout. I've converted this to be the Hades switches, which I really enjoy. Similar, but not as nice as the new version of these low profile silent switches. This is a fantastic travel keyboard, I will note that, but you have to buy the aftermarket Hades switches. It only comes with the linear switches. So if you want to step into the mechanical keyboard market and want a linear style switch, this would be a good option. It travels really well, the plastic is durable, it has flip out legs, a slot for the dongle, which I think is very important for a travel keyboard, and it just feels great to use and it's not oversized. It does have this forehead up here that contains this scroll bar. It's not that distracting, it's not that weird. It does have that Lofree branding there, but overall is fairly muted if you were to take this to an office setting. You can also pick this up on their website directly with the discount code that I mentioned previously, so you can get yourself a nice deal. Compared to the original Flow, I think the Flow 2 is better in almost every way. For me, the kick-out legs and the 2.4 gigahertz dongle are well worth the price of admission, but I will note that these are coming down in price rapidly as they release the Flow 2. So with that discount code and other sales they're running, you might be able to pick this up for fairly cheap. And if you're looking for a premium keyboard and like this look more than the new version, this could be a good option, but I would pass and focus on the Flow Lite or the Flow 2. The other one I want to mention is the Newfie Air B3. This is a beautiful keyboard that's well constructed and much more feature complete for a lower price point. It has 2 kick-out slots, a compartment for the dongle. It's all plastic with a little bit of metal here on the edges, but it's well made, solid, long battery life, and flexible. I will note though, the typing experience on this is not as enjoyable as the Lofree to me. I have tactical switches on this, and it sounds good and it feels good, but it's a little bit more marbly in my opinion. And candidly, after using it for a while, I like this keyboard, but I don't enjoy it as much as the Lofree Flow 2. But this would be my easy recommend for people looking to dive into the mechanical keyboard market, as you can get this at a lower price with more items in the box too, like key pullers and additional switches. Also, the RGB on this keyboard is absolutely gorgeous. and a selling point for anyone who's specifically looking for those type of features. Quickfire on some other options. There's the Logitech MX Mechanical, which is sort of this gateway drug of mechanical keyboards. Logitech makes great solid keyboards. The MX Mechanical, though, in my opinion, is just not worth the price of admission. If you're gonna spend that money on that keyboard, you need to either one, be fully committed to the Logitech ecosystem, or it's not worth it. I think it's a poorly made keyboard, lack of flexibility, and the sound is just poor. And for fun, I'm throwing in the EpoMaker Carbon 60. This is a full carbon fiber body keyboard. It's very pretty. It's only 60%. It does not have arrow keys, which basically eliminates it as a productivity keyboard, but it's interesting and premium, and I hope EpoMaker makes a larger version one day. Lastly, let's get into changes for this keyboard. There's a bunch of things we could change. I think number one for me, though, is the ability to turn off the sensor bar on the right-hand cheek of the keyboard. Far too often, you'll notice you'll reposition the keyboard and accidentally bump this, which turns up or down the volume on your keyboard. It's quite annoying, and a simple disable function would be great on this. And from what we understand, based on the early review information we've got, is that that will be coming in the production version. In the future, I would love a spot for the dongle. I think if you could somehow fit it underneath the legs, that would be amazing. It's a nice to have, and I'm okay with the trade-off at this price point with this style of build, because they're not meant to be super practical functional keyboards. Lastly, I would like to be able to mix and match the colors and switches more. I would like the gray 75% with silent switches, instead of having to buy multiple keyboards and separate switches to make this work. Hi everybody, welcome to everyone's favorite part of the video. This is Blex's keyboard tier list. Today we have one of my favorite keyboards of 2025 so far. That's the Lofree Flow 2. As always, we rank it based on the other keyboards I've reviewed. Value is a big part of this. Accuracy, speed, features for gaming. For gaming, it's really not going to be hyper competitive, but I will say it is on par or better than the Lofree Flow Lite in terms of gaming due to its sturdiness, build, and the addition of the 2.4 gigahertz dongle. Obviously, it's not a gaming keyboard, but it's pretty capable of doing that. For solo productivity, this is where this keyboard is going to shine. It doesn't hit a home run in terms of value. It is a little bit more expensive. I will note their pricing and the specials they have on pricing right now in particular make this extremely attractive. And it's actually going to be an A tier for me. You can get different switches out of the box. The typing sound and feel is incredible, and it has VIA support now, so you have the customization if you need it. Lastly, office travel. As I've mentioned before, this is a head turner of a keyboard. It doesn't compete on that value end of the spectrum. Your standard sort of Logitech scissor switch keyboards are going to do much better. It is well constructed though. This will travel well, but it is loud unless you get it in that silent configuration. So for that reason, it's actually going to get an A tier. The reason it's an A over something like the Lofree Flow Lite, I think the Lofree Flow Lite travels better and has more flexibility, but in order to get the silent switches, you need to buy them after the fact, and you can't get them pre-installed, which greatly inflates the price as compared to just getting a Lofree Flow 2 with the silent switches installed. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.